So the internet's a pretty vast place.
Yeah.
Bit of an iceberg.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot that the internet can teach us, but sometimes it kind of just leaves us more confused.
Yeah, and some of the stuff it teaches us is dark and disturbing.
Yeah.
And that's some of the stuff we're going to be sharing with you today. Well, it's all dark and disturbing.
Yeah, so let's...
All right, we're going to start off the list with a disturbing and mysterious online game called Sad Satan. So Sad Satan is this creepy game that popped up on the internet in 2015. Now, I haven't played it myself, but I've seen videos of people playing it, and having heard the story behind it, it's definitely one of the creepiest games on the internet. I describe it as haunted. It's all in black and white. You maneuver your character through these strange environments, and these incredibly disturbing images will intermittently flash on the screen, some of which people say are real images of dead bodies and worse things, if you can imagine that. People who played it felt seriously disturbed by what they saw and heard, but even stranger, nobody knew where the game came from or who made it. At least not the person's real identity, anyway. It's said to have been created by someone on the dark web, going by the name of ZK. One version of the game ended up on a YouTube channel called Obscure Horror Corner, but even then folks weren't sure if it was the real game or some made-up version for views. Till this day, nobody's really cracked the mystery of who's behind Sad Satan.
Next up, we have the mystery of the Jack Froese emails. In June of 2011, Jack Froese died unexpectedly of a heart attack at the age of 32. His friends and family were shocked, but even more so after they began receiving emails that appeared to be coming from Jack himself 5 months after his death. In particular, Jack's friend Tim Hart received many emails that appeared to be written by Jack. How so? They came from Jack's personal email account and included personal details about the two men's relationship. The first email Tim received simply said, "I'm watching." But then the next email read, "Do you hear me? I'm at your house, clean your effing attic." It was the mention of the attic that really made it clear that whoever or whatever was doing this had to have been listening to one of the final conversations Tim had had with Jack, the second to last time Jack had visited Tim's home before his death. The two had gone up to hang out in Tim's attic, as they often did, and they joked about how dirty it was, and Froese even said that he would clean it himself. Curious, Tim replied to the email, but there was no response. In another instance, Jack sent an email to his cousin, Jimmy McCraw, saying, "Hey Jim, how you doing? I knew you would break your ankle. Tried to warn you." Unlike the attic comment that took place during Jack's life and was kind of like an inside joke that only those two would know about, Jimmy broke his ankle long after his cousin's death. So how did he know that? How did the email get to these men from Jack's account, including these kind of personal informations? I don't know, you guys. Do you have any theories?
Next, we have the most mysterious song on the internet. So this is a song I was listening to actually a lot last summer when I first found out about this story. It's pretty catchy, you know, like the wind, you can't hear us. Nobody knows who this song is by. So this is a track that was recorded from a German radio station in the early 80s. The song was taped by a young man going by the name of Darius S. off the northern German radio station NDR. He recorded it onto a cassette tape along with other songs by bands like The Cure and Ecstasy. Years later, he pulled out the tape and noticed there was one song he didn't recognize. So he did what anyone does nowadays. He took it to the internet. Surely someone would know where this song came from, but nobody had any idea what this song was. It's become a total cult internet mystery. There have been people who have tried to claim the song belongs to them. One guy posted in a YouTube comment that it was from his band Numb 212. It's never been confirmed, and I honestly don't buy it. Numb 212, that's not the kind of name an 80s new wave band would have had, and there's never been any solid proof that the song belongs to him. All we know is that the singer seems to have a vaguely European accent, possibly German, and we can pick out some of the lyrics. Again, great song.
Next on our list today we have Grave Robbing for Morons, a video that appeared on the internet out of nowhere and doesn't really make a lot of sense. The video was shot on VHS and it shows a man, presumably in his early 20s, sitting in a basement wearing a leather jacket and holding a skull while being surrounded by human bones, while explaining how to rob a grave. And while some of the advice given by the young man appears to be contradictory and inaccurate, the majority of the explanation surprisingly makes a good amount of sense. as much as it can, I guess. The whole concept is ridiculous. However, many bone experts, whatever that means, who have seen the video online said that the bones showed by the young man looked to be incredibly authentic, and they even identified the skull in the man's hand, which he claims to have acquired during his second grave robbing, belonging to a female, age unknown. No one knows where the video came from, which many people believe was filmed in 1987. But again, no one knows who filmed it, where it was filmed, why it was filmed, and at this point in time, I'm not really sure if we'll ever get any answers, but feel free to go ahead and leave me your best guess, as always, in the comments.
This next one is pretty cool. Cicada 3301. It's a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside of another mystery on the internet. So it all began back in January of 2012 when this weird puzzle popped up out of nowhere. It was a challenge posted to several online forums across different websites reading, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we devised a test. There is a message hidden in this message. Find it and it will lead you on the road to finding us. We look forward to meeting the few that will make it all the way through. Good luck, 3301. So some brainy users started deciphering this message that then led to more and more crazy complex puzzles. People who took up the challenge found themselves digging into cryptography, steganography, literature, who knows what else. I wish I was smart so I could have uncovered the puzzle and started down like this adventure. Because some folks claimed they had to go on real world like treasure hunts to crack these puzzles. Like they'd get clues leading them to physical locations around the globe. Like very exciting. Of course, nobody knows who's behind Cicada 3301 or what they're up to. Some think it's maybe some kind of recruitment test for like a super secret organization, maybe the CIA or something. Others think that maybe there's something more nefarious and dark going on, but who knows? And we don't even know if anyone completed the entire thing.
Okay guys, go ahead and tell James that he's smart in the comments, come on. Next up, we have the mystery of Chip Chan, who is a South Korean woman who first appeared online as a YouTube live streamer and who often slept on said live stream for upwards of 20 hours at a time, and she only ever left her house in disguise. People became fascinated by her strange day-to-day behaviors, and eventually the live streaming evolved into blogging. And that's when things began to get even weirder, and quite dark too. Chip Chan claimed that the South Korean police had been mistreating her, and one specific police officer, who she referred to only as Pig or P, had been specifically targeting her and making her life an unbearable living hell. Chip Chan claims that whenever she left her house, the officer would make her unconscious and drag her to an unknown location before implanting a chip into her ankle that she believed to be a mind control device. In another blog post, she shared a picture of her neck covered in bug bites. I mean, like covered. It was pretty gross. And she claimed that the officer, P, had used mind control on the bugs to make them attack her. About 4 years ago, her streams ended, and she made a blog post saying that it was because P had shut her down, but then eventually the blog stopped too. While there are many theories going around regarding the truth about what really happened to Chip Chan, many people believe that she was in fact a paranoid schizophrenic who had refused help. Perhaps she stopped posting after being admitted to a mental hospital, or do you guys think what she was saying is true and maybe the police finally got to her?
All right, next up we have a mysterious Russian radio station that's been sending out strange signals since the 70s, and people all over the internet have been trying to figure out what the deal is with it for years. The station broadcasts this monotonous buzzing noise interrupted by weird cryptic messages in Russian. Take a listen here. So people have been trying to decode this radio station for years, but they're often just random strings of numbers or disjointed words or names, like you just heard. Other than like the intermittent voices cutting into the buzzing, there was also a transmission in 2010 where there was a brief excerpt from Swan Lake, and on the 11th of November of that same year, intermittent phone conversations were transmitted and recorded by a listener. Again, most anyone has been able to like piece together are just random phrases and words. Some think they're coded messages for spies or secret military communications. Until this day though, nobody knows who's behind UVB 76 or why it exists.
Raise your hand if you are the founder of Bitcoin. Now, if you raise your hand, you are either a liar or one of the most mysterious internet icons on Earth. When the cryptocurrency launched back on January 3rd of 2009, it quickly became, I think, the most successful and prominent cryptocurrency known to man. I mean, in 2021, it reached a market value of over $1 trillion US dollars. Do you know what I could do with that amount of money? I could buy a lot of stuff. So, while Bitcoin launched in 2009, it was actually mentioned online a year prior in a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The paper appeared to be written by someone or something called Satoshi Nakamoto, but no one knows who that is, or who they are, or what they are. It could be one person, a small group, a whole team, or even some kind of like AI generated thing. No one knows. What we do know, however, is that in 2011, Satoshi Nakamoto disappeared after emailing a Bitcoin core developer saying that he had, quote, moved on to better things. Many people have speculated that Australian scientist Craig Wright or BitGold founder Nick Szabo might have been the man or men behind the whole thing, but the truth is, unless you are Satoshi Nakamoto, there's just no way to know though.
All right, next up we have the mystery of 112 Dirtbag. Mara Murray was a 21-year-old college student who vanished without a trace in February of 2004 after crashing her car on a rural road in Haverhill, New Hampshire. She was last seen by witnesses after the accident, but when police arrived on the scene just minutes later, she was gone. Now enter 112 Dirtbag. So Mara's father in an interview dubbed whoever was responsible for his daughter's perceived kidnapping as a, quote, dirtbag. On the 8th anniversary of her vanishing, a chilling YouTube video surfaced on a channel named 112 Dirtbag. In the video, a middle-aged man stares into the camera with this unsettling seriousness before breaking into this maniacal laughter. Then he winks at the camera before the screen goes black and the message, "Happy Anniversary," appears on screen. Not only could the dirtbag part be a reference to the comment Mara's father made, but she'd also gone missing on Route 112. Police were able to trace the man's identity in the video, but there was no concrete evidence linking him to the crime. The question still remains though, was this guy just a troll, exploiting the tragedy for attention, or could he actually have been involved in Mara's disappearance?
And finally we have GhostNet, an electronic espionage operation that came to light in 2009 that had infiltrated 1,295 computers across 103 countries. The operation had been used to spy on individuals as well as organizations and governments, and it went on for 2 years before it was discovered after an investigation had been launched into a potential breach in the office of the Dalai Lama in India. It was investigators from the University of Toronto, shout out my Canadians, who confirmed the cyber spy attack, and they were also able to trace its origins back to China. It was noted that while the exact source of the espionage was unknown, the acting attackers were likely civilians who had run the operation for either profit or patriotic reasons. Or it was the government acting as private citizens in order to spy on other countries while maintaining plausible deniability for their actions. Who knows, right? I mean, do you know? Because like, if you know, let me know, you know?
Alright guys, you have fun cruising the World Wide Web, but just be careful out there.
Yes, please. Yeah.
We'll catch you in the next one.
Cool. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.